evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox Gerard, on the show tonight is the one and only Bridgeman, Port Bear, and young GB. How we doing, gentlemen? And Bridgeman.
Good evening.
All right, boys. How did I not get the young part put in front of my name last year?
Only those and such as those. Can I just say a big good evening to you guys on the panel here? Huge good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world this evening. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
I'm like George Washington, meet Port Bear, cannot tell a lie.
Fair enough, take that one.
Yeah. How we doing, gentlemen? Obviously, me and Bridge were on Monday night. How are you? That's a nice tan you've got, GB. Is it sun or is it under the sunbed?
Oh, I've been running up the sand dunes, Port.
Fake tan.
Port's advised me to get fit for this new season coming up, so I'm taking some tips off the big man.
How you, Port Bear?
Aye, very well, mate. Aye, glad to be back. Listened to you the other night. Good show. Good to bring good Rangers men again, mate. So aye, ready for the season ahead. Aye, yep.
Okay, I mean, obviously, we talked briefly, Bridgeman, on Monday night about the game. It wasn't a great event. The boys get their thoughts quickly, get their thoughts on the new signing, and we'll take it from there. Is that all right with you, Bridge?
Absolutely, bud. Go for it.
On you go, Port Bear. It was a pre-season friendly, just about getting minutes in the legs. Yeah, we've all been there.
That's exactly what it is, mate. It's just trying to get these guys ready to rock and roll for obviously up and coming qualifying matches, etc. for the Champions League. That's just only around the corner. So train, mate. Change your team. Full team for first half to second half, and it's essentially takes us to get minutes in people's legs. So didn't take too much out the game in particular, but one guy did stand out for me was young boy Kelly. Pretty impressed with him. And then obviously big said the Ted.
Very neat.
Yeah, very mate, very tidy. And obviously big Cedric hitting, big said to Ted getting his first goal of the season, so he opens his account, which is we can only do him good, mate. So I was quite interested to see young boys in the first half. It was good.
Would it be fair to say, guys, that would be a game that we wouldn't usually watch? It would be sort of the kind of thing it would maybe be behind closed doors there?
Aye, yeah. I think obviously the way they're positioning themselves with everything with COVID and stuff like that, they're trying to get the fans on board with the Rangers TV and stuff like that. So, but for me, it was good to actually see like an appreciation of what we've actually got. Like Paul was saying, first half was really minutes in certain people's legs, but the second half it was good to see the quality come back on the park and stuff like that. So, and I'm really pleased for Itten as well. I think it's got to be a big season for Itten this season coming up. So hopefully we'll get a few more games.
People see the game differently. I didn't think he was great, but he got the goal, and that's what striking's about. Anyway, so we move on. Bridgeman, the boy John Lundstrom joined us. We've heard about him. We've had ex-teammates or ex-people connected with his club having a pop. You always get some of that stuff when people move on. And obviously they never get a fee for him, so we're winners, they're losers. It happens. But now you've had time to reflect, Bridge, what's your thoughts on the signing?
I think it's a smashing signing, and I love the way the club have went about it. The last couple of signings we've had have been similar, like end of contract stuff, and that's delightful for me. And the boys walked away after playing. I don't know how many games he played in the Premiership down there, but he's played a right few anyway with Sheffield United. I think it's a really good signing for us. And he's probably the right age, 27 or something like that. So he could fit straight in there, and it'll take him a season, I would imagine, just to get used to everything round about him. I don't mean on the football field all the time, but round about Ibrox and who's who and all the rest of it. And he could be a natural successor to, for instance, Stephen Davis, if he decides to retire. But my goodness gracious, what an addition. Allegedly, he's got some engine on him. And I would doff my cap to the English parts of the boy. Maybe guys down there, he might be know more about him than I would. I think he looks a really, really good buy. And reading up on him was very good indeed. Very good.
I know Gaz is south of you, Bridge, but I don't think he's near England.
I'm thinking. So apologies, but I'm thinking you're around Corway. Sorry, apologies. Wrong one. Wrong Gary.
I'm there watching Hamilton Accies training centre.
I'm sorry, but wrong one.
I think you've got to watch, Gary. That's the first one of the season. I don't even think you're allowed to say Hamilton Accies anymore. It's got to be Hamilton Academicals.
Oh, that's right. Aye. PC. Right, sorry.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Aye. Port Bear. Where do you see Lundstrom fitting in? If everybody's still at the club and we've still got Kamara, or maybe Aribo in midfield if that's you accept his position. Stephen Davis, Ryan Jack, Scotty Arfield, John Lundstrom. Where's he playing for you personally?
For me, mate, I think he sits on the right hand side of our middle three. So you'll obviously still have Davis as your anchor, your pivot. And obviously you'll have Kamara or Aribo, I think, on the left, and then you've got three vying for that position on the right side of that three, and that'll be Lundstrom, Arfield and Ryan Jack. I know Ryan Jack could probably spin in, mate, and give Davis a rest and play as the anchor and the pivot, but so I would leave it up to Lundstrom and Arfield for that right hand side position of the centre three. But I don't think John Lundstrom's signed, mate, to be on the bench. I think he'll be vying for that position, mate, in that start. I think that's what he'll not come up here to Scotland and play for Rangers to sit on the bench. And in my opinion, mate, you think about it with Sheffield United down there, they get maybe 3-4 chances per game. They hardly have possession, so he's going to, his stats are all right. He's basically 255 games as a pro, 14 goals, 21 assists, 35 yellows and 2 red cards. So I know they're not excellent figures for a midfielder.
That's an interesting stat there. If he gets booked in England, how's he going up here?
The yellows might be a red.
Yeah, probably, Gary. You're probably right, mate. But I just think we're hell of a strong in there, Oxford, in my opinion. Although I think we could still be doing another one.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
Obviously, you took £2 million worth of shares then, didn't you? Everybody's good at spending everybody else's money back, isn't they?
I've got a question to ask on that. The guys came in, I meant to say while I was speaking, and I think it's ominous. In my opinion, I think it's ominous. I think that someone like Glenn Kamara may in fact be bargained out somewhere along the line. Somebody wanting him. So I'm hearing. I don't know if it's true or not. But I think first opportunity Rangers may take to get some money in, and he may be the one. So the boy from straight in there.
I think there's two sides to that coin, Bridge. Because of where we're sitting just now, if you'd say get rid of Kamara, and I'll use that name because you mentioned that, Nora, I think he's necessarily leaving. Let's just say you took 15 million, again a number of plucked out the sky, and that's open for debate, and you failed in qualifying for the Champions League. It could be, you could be penny wise and pounds foolish, yeah? Bridge?
Yes, absolutely. That's the danger, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If we do allow sort of discussions to go ahead regarding the lad. I don't know if the lad's even interested in moving, to be honest. So
no, he's not made any moves.
What's that?
He's not made any moves, has he?
No, so I might not be interested. It might just be all talk from agents or other people, odds and sods down in England. I just don't know. But he's certainly had a tremendous Euros. He's played very well for his country. And actually, I thought he was their best player, and that's my honest opinion. I thought he was their best player. Brilliant.
Just a few things to Brett. Yeah, obviously, we've signed some youngsters today. Zach Mackay, Ryan Duncan, Christian Webster, and Greg Allen's joined us for Hearts to join under 18s, the schoolboys. So we wish them all the best in the first stage of their professional career with the club. It's a hard game at that level, but all the best to the boys. Port Bear.
Aye, excellent, mate. It's again looking towards the future. A club that didn't stand still anymore, and I think it just stands us in good stead for the future, mate. Fair play to the young boys for getting, on that very difficult ladder, mate, to get onto to get a, your first professional contract with a club. So onwards and upwards, mate. As I said, it's a club that doesn't stand still in any department.
Yeah, and those that are interested, Fox has been in negotiations all summer with Amazon, and I thought it was a parcel, but it's transpired that Rangers Radio has been confirmed as the next Amazon All or Nothing documentary. So it could be one night out in August, so they might be following us that night, so you need to watch how you behave.
It'll be nothing left, more like.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right, I think we'll get these phone lines opened. All or nothing, shall we say, Gaza?
That's it.
All right, so let's hear from you. Well, technical teamer. I think they're maybe filling their glasses on a Friday evening, Bridgeman.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So the Rangers caravan rolls on to Tranmere tomorrow. Some bears will be there, I know that for a fact. We go to train at Liverpool's training ground. I can't think why. I don't know if I've got any connection with them at my club at the moment. So we train there, and then we play another friendly tomorrow. How do you see it? Maybe some more first teamers in, guys, and maybe everybody getting approximately 45 minutes, maybe somebody getting 50, 60 minutes, slowly building up.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be maybe much the same like Partick Thistle again. Maybe a couple of fringe players in the first half, and then like it says, we didn't really see Ryan Kent the first game at all. So I imagine
I don't think you'll see him tomorrow, mate. I think it might be a bit.
Is he still carrying? Is he still carrying?
Well, Bridge is the expert on that. Bridge, is he still carrying?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Right. I think much the same. Just getting more minutes in the legs and stuff like that. It'll be a good test again. Tranmere are quite a physical team. I don't really know where they are at with their pre-season, but what it says that League 2 is it's not an easy league either. So it'll be a good test for the players. I think this is a good run out for them.
Aye, so it's all about getting, as we said, Portbear, it's all about getting minutes in the legs. But that's the way I see it. I think you'll maybe have roughly two teams again, and maybe the odd player might get 50, 60, but no, I don't think it'll be many get more than that.
No, but mate, we're still looking to build on the new guys that have come in next year, and some of the guys that come back for loan and stuff. You've got guys like Jordan Jones and Edmondson. They also need to work on more shape and stuff. So I reckon that's what we were building up towards your more glamorous ties. It's that's in the corner, and we'll cover that later on.
See, you've done there. What a segue you've gave us, Bridgeman. Yes. What did you make of that when that was announced? I know it's a game that you've been wanting to see at Ibrox for a long, long time, eh?
Well, it'll be the biggest game at Ibrox has been in a long, long time for sure. It's going to be a very popular game, and I think sadly, and I say this in all honesty, sadly we'll probably hardly get any fans in. At the present moment, I think it's 2,000. We'll be lucky to get 2,000 in up to now. So at least there'll be 2,000. But what a chance! What a chance for Rangers if everything goes right to get fans in there, get them in as much as possible and get them in as quick as possible. But my God, that's a marvellous friendly for Rangers. Great stuff. Well done.
What was your thoughts, Bridge, when you seen it announced? What was your thoughts?
Immediately thought back to way back when it was 1960, blah, blah, blah.
63.
Right back to then. And my God, they transformed everything at Real Madrid. They were the best team in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. I know they're not the best team in the world at the moment, but they're not far away. They're a great side. And they will, if they come with their full team, they'll give us they'll blitz us for good big chunks of the game. But my goodness, we have to stand up to and applaud ourselves and get in there. As a club, we've done well. Attracting a club like that, amazing. If anybody ever gets to Real Madrid Stadium and manages to walk through it, You'll see huge big murals on the wall with Glasgow Rangers on it. Fantastic, brilliant stuff.
What was your memory sport there in that 63 game?
Aye, very good, Oxtear. I believe we lost 1-0 at home and 6-0 away. Don't know what era of players that was. I don't know if it's like De Stefano's time or that kind of, I don't know. I've no idea. But certainly, mate, Los Blancos coming to Glasgow. It's just stuff dreams are made of. And like, these are the sort of clubs, Oxford, that we could meet in the Champions League next year. This year, sorry. So, you may as well see what you're up against, I suppose. But it's like, wow. I've personally never seen Real Madrid. The whole team I've supported.
Can I just say, you mentioned there, you don't know, Real Madrid were the best club team in the world when they came to Ibrox. Not because they came to Ibrox, they came to Ibrox and they beat us. Mm-hmm. And then they beat us over the absolute leathers. They were an absolutely outstanding club. Brilliant. Fantastic. That's all I can say. They were the best team in the world.
Superb.
It says something for our club to obviously, well, for us to offer it, or I don't know how it came about, but obviously Real Madrid had to accept it, so it shows that they're keen on the match as well. So it shows that these partnerships are building now, and as you have said before, it's a club that's not stopping now. We're moving forward all the time, so we're building up friendships all over the place. So it just creates a good pathway, and I think, like I says, for the players themselves, it will give them a good test and a good level.
This is only my view, and I don't know what yours is. In some respects, obviously I want the fans to get back in, but some respects I think it'd be easier sometimes if there's none in, rather than 2,000. I just think you end up with 48 other thousand just peed off, But what a game, and I feel sorry for the club. I feel sorry for each and every one of us as fans. I think the Arsenal game would have been good, but I think the Real Madrid as an occasion would have been just absolutely fantastic. Bridgeman?
Agreed, 100%. It would be fabulous, and I don't know if Rangers can do anything, but I was maybe get some fan zones up or something like that for COVID rules and regulations. But I'm sure we could get some big screens.
We could move the game to Wembley. We could move the game to Wembley and get 90,000, isn't it?
That's a really good point. Now, I don't know whether it would be worthwhile doing that, but my goodness gracious, that is a good thought. I'm sure I read something about that. I heard something about that during a couple of days ago. But my goodness, that is a tremendous thought. Now, there must be 60,000 Rangers fans in the London area alone, So there'll be plenty of people wanting to go and see that. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's quite sad. It's quite sad that the fans will not get in a full house. They've been a special occasion.
Yep.
Port Bear.
It could have been a great 48 hours of football last year. I mean, they play Brighton, I believe, the day before. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you that the stadium would have been a sellout for both games, in my opinion.
Well, of course, would have been there to pay tribute to Shane Duffy.
That's exactly what it would be for Celebrate the League with him, as he helped so greatly in securing that league last year. But definitely, mate, it would have been a great festival of football over 48 hours. Going to see Brighton, Premier League team, testing your squad against them, and then the day after, Real Madrid. Does it get any bigger, Oxford? It really doesn't, and that's easily, as Gary touched on, these are relationships that we're building up. And of course, we play Arsenal. That's probably the first of the start of the glamour ties. And these are the clubs that we'll meet. So it's building relationships up, mate. And Rangers are back in the map, Oxford. There's no doubt about that. Gerrard's helped in that, definitely.
We're back in the map because we've been joined by David from Cumbernauld. How we doing, David?
Evening, everybody. Brilliant to hear you back on again after a long break in the Euro summer. I was covering the Rangers as always, so I just wanted to say that first of all.
Nice to hear you, David, as well. Nice to hear you, pal.
As you know, I found you a wee while ago, been a regular listener and calling on ever since. I've just got 2 wee points for you, if you don't mind.
No, carry on, David. The floor's yours.
With the friendlies going on, do you think maybe if Steven Gerrard sees something in one of these younger players, that he might give him a chance?
I think Gerrard, it's only my I'll take it to Port after this and then Gaz. I think with Gerrard, if he thinks you're good enough and you can hold your place in any position in the team, you'll be playing. Port Bear.
100%, mate. I think Gerrard's proved that. If you're good enough, you'll be in the team, regardless of age, or what, how much wages you're getting a week. He will pick what's best for Rangers. There is players that come back for loan, like Glenn Middleton, Jordan Jones, to name a few, that have got a chance again, probably to, let's see what you've got in these games. Whether they take it or not, I don't know. But there's a lot of guys there fighting for their futures at Rangers to stay there or, get fit and obviously, unfortunately, be loaned out. We've got massive squad when it comes to centre halves. A big problem in there to sort out, in my opinion. But lots of midfielders, and we're top heavy with wingers as well, so we can't keep them all.
GB.
There was just one player is saying, obviously we've only had the one, but I think that's Stephen Kelly. He absolutely shone in that match, and I'd like to see him get a wee bit of a chance and not just go out and loan again, because there's only so many times you can loan a player. Do you know what I mean? And I just think I'd like to see a wee bit of that more happening. Obviously, we've got Nathan Patterson coming in, and it'll be a big headache for Gerrard and what he's going to do with Taven Patterson. But that's just my main opinion as well. I just maybe if somebody could show that's been out on loan, that's came back to the team. I'm here and I'm willing to fight for my place rather than get sold or go on loan again. You know what I mean?
GB, thoughts?
David, I think Kelly is probably the only one the other night that showed that he could probably hold his own in the first team. It just, I would love for us to produce another player. When Patterson came through, I was happy, but it was obviously the defence was always a kind of strong place, whereas I always wanted us to try and produce like a winger or something like that. But Kelly looks as though he's on the right path, but I just don't know if he'll be able to, once all our boys come back for the international duty, I don't know if he'll be able to push them out the road.
I agree. He is still a wee bit young, but I think he's showed that in the loan spells that he's been out in, that he's got something there, and just watching him there, he seemed to know that he was playing in a friendly. He seemed to be trying really, really hard, like he was trying to show Gerrard that, look, I'm here. You don't need to get anybody else in. I'm here. Do you know what I mean? And I like to see that, especially for young players, because I know a lot of the time, especially when you've got a big team like the Glasgow Rangers, and I can always think if you're a younger player, you sometimes maybe think, well, they're just going to buy somebody instead of giving me a chance. And I think Stephen Kelly's one of the people is that I'm just always kick myself with the thing we missed it in Billy Gilmore. Maybe that's what's playing in the back of my head when I'm thinking about the younger players.
It's all about opportunities, isn't it? It's like that way. Patterson obviously got his chance because of Tav's injury and stuff like that, and he proved himself. I think, depending how our transfer window goes and stuff like that, you might find Kelly might get his opportunity, because if there is a lot of people sniffing about some of our top players, then unfortunately the way we are, we can't knock back the kind of numbers that are getting bandied about. So there might be an opportunity for Kelly just to slip in there and be that kind of guy that fills a position. So, here's hope, mate. Here's hope.
Yep. What he's got to be up as well, Gary. He's got to be up. Is it good for him to go to another year's loan with another team, or would he learn more being with the current squad and maybe playing, bit parts in games and maybe getting an odd start here and then, maybe take it 10 games under his belt and maybe say 5, 6, 7, 8 substitution appearances? What he's got to realise is, we need to discuss it with Gerrard and the management team, is he going to learn more off our management squad and the players that's around him and staying at Rangers, or would he learn more going back out on loan? That's the thing I've got to try and sort out. I'd like to see him stay personally. In my opinion, he would learn more at Ibrox than he would going back out on another loan deal.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? If he gets,
I think that's quite a strong statement to make there, Port Bear. Sorry.
If he gets 10 substitutes appearances over the year, Port Bear, and he ends up getting 15 minutes and only playing for 2.5 hours, or he goes out and he plays week in, week out, that they're just a level below and gets a game,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's
difficult.
really hard.
I don't know if the boy would want to take the chance. I think, as you know, one of the boys that's set up to go out on loan anyway.
No, not at the moment.
It'd be tragic because you're really. I think he's a smashing player, but what he can't afford, I dare say, from a career perspective, is to be stuck. He needs to be in the squad. He's got to be in the squad and getting a game every now and again. He's got to be in the squad. If he's not in the squad, then it could be a waste of another season in his career, and he could be better going on loan. I just don't know if Rangers are willing, shall we say, to pick up and let youngsters just run in the team. I like a young Patterson. Unless Tavernier's injured, they need to come up with some sort of miracle plan to get young boy Patterson in beside Tav. Other than that, Tav's just going to be solid there, and the young boy Patterson's going to struggle.
He's got the same dilemma, Bridge. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think with Patterson, Oxford, he got locked, didn't he? Sorry, mate.
David?
Aye, it's difficult because you get both of the Patterson and Tav. They're both amazing in that position. The only thing I've heard about is maybe thinking about playing Tav higher up in the pitch, but if
David,
it's
is that your
broke,
wife
don't
shouting at
fix
you?
it.
Is that your wife shouting at you?
No, it's my dog. You call my wife a dog, I'll come out there.
Oh dear. Carry on, David. Sorry about that.
We've got. That's the problem with the team now. It's a good problem though if you've got two top class players going for the same position. But if we're honest with ourselves, we maybe get another 3, maybe 4 years out of Tav, and can Patterson wait that long? I don't think so. So it's going to be difficult what's going to happen. It all depends on how far we go in Europe as well. Maybe if we go further in Europe, you'll rotate the squad a wee bit more and you'll put Patterson in that position, and Patterson will play more league games than what Tav would play, something like that. It's difficult because obviously you want your own homegrown talent to keep growing and keep evolving, and everything that Gerrard said about him, he seems to really rate Patterson. And if you can get yourself in somebody's mind like Gerrard, you've obviously got something about you.
I think the thing is, I'll go back to my original point and then I'll go to GB. If Patterson's better than Tav, in the manager's eyes, Patterson will be playing. Simple as that. But is he yet? GB.
He's not yet, obviously. Ox just with what Tav can get the team, his crosses, his experience, and plus he is the captain as well. So, but I think if things keep moving the way they are with COVID and stuff like that, you might find there'll be bigger opportunities when we, like say, the Scottish Cup, League Cup, games like that, where we'll need to probably start resting players, especially if we're pushing for the Champions League and obviously the league as well. So there'll be opportunities for him. I think what I say is that Patterson, I think it's an easier one because the gaffer will be able to maybe in certain games get to the 70-minute mark and take Tav off, keep him fresh.
I'll cut across you guys. David, mate, we'll need to let you go, mate. Obviously, your dog's getting a wee bit excited, mate. Yeah?
Right, sorry.
All right, mate.
Thanks
No,
very
take
much
it
for
easy, mate.
Let me call in, guys.
Cheers, mate. Carry on, guys.
Hi, sorry, mate. No, I was just saying, like, I think there will be opportunities for Patterson because I think he will be wanting to keep Tav fresh this season. So he knows he can trust Patterson to come on and see out a game for him. Whereas Kelly, in a sense, is still kind of unproven. But like I say, like Port was saying, there could be, like I say, an opportunity in the season where he has to use him or something like that if he stays. I just think if he goes out on another loan to like a Ross County, he'll get game time. But it's got to be like a team where he's got to be like fighting relegation or whatever. I would rather see him maybe even go down south or something like that rather than stay in our league. But I don't know. It just depends. I think we're quietly going about our business, and it'll be, like I said, as soon as we can kind of see all our players back for international, I think we'll kind of start to see where the squad's going to be at. Because see the now, I think I'm looking at the team, and you're seeing Jordan Jones and you're seeing Glenn Middleton and that, and I just honestly kind of see them being part of your squad going forward for this season.
No, I agree. If I was Glenn Middleton, I'd have walked in with my medals the first day of training right enough.
I just for the wind up, I know. But and that, by the way, that's not a slant to them. The players are anything like that. I just think that we come that Real Madrid game. I think that's when you'll see your proper team out. If you mean for the season, so whatever that's kind of squads there, I think that's going to be the squad for the following week, obviously for the start of the season, and then obviously Champions League qualifiers and stuff like that.
No, I think when we play Real Madrid, if the manager doesn't fancy, he'll put you in to chase the ball all day.
Maybe. Just the balance. What about you, Ox? I mean, where do you see the squad at the now? And have you got any inklings of where the squad needs strength?
I think we've got some players that we might never see play for the first team, and I mean in a competitive game, maybe Jordan Jones, Edmondson, for example, they might move on and everybody moves up. We've still got Sakala, the boy was, I'm not going to try his name, I'll leave that in Port Bear. The boy we signed for Wickham, who was on loan for Bournemouth. We've not seen any of him, so we'll need to wait and see. I think whether you think it'll be interesting to see if Bassey goes in loan as well. Going back to your point as well, Gaz, because Bassey needs game times if he's going to develop. I just think that boy, he's got a lot of assets, but I just don't know if fullback's his position. But so maybe we need more cover at left back. Only time will tell. It'll be interesting. You'll know everything calms down and the transfer window's shut,
I think you're right with the left back position, by the way, because the tail end of the season, like I says, it was all right that we had Borna, but like the way obviously Borna's Euros went and stuff like that, he picked up injuries and stuff like that, and we really do need a decent left back, especially if he's not got to be fit for a Champions League qualifier or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying Bassey can't do a job for us, but certainly I think it's probably an area that we should be looking at.
It'll be interesting, and be interesting to see us. We're in a good place, and you want us to come into this transfer window bridge in a stronger position, yeah?
Yeah, most assuredly. It was interesting to hear the boys saying there, particularly on Bassey. I think Bassey's got tremendous potential for us. I don't know what the manager sees in him insofar as what position he's going to play. But for me, he would be getting lots of runs whenever possible as a left back for Rangers to find out if he can actually do it. There's no doubt about his ability to run up the wing. No doubt about his ability to attack, and he can attack. But he can't mix running up the wing and defending. He gets himself into, ties himself up in knots. And it takes Borna his time to be able to do it as well, But I do think Big Bassey must get a chance. He's got to play because he's just for the sake. If Borna is picking up injuries here and there, then he's going to be required, and we need to find out quickly if he's got the ability within him to step up. Because remember, of course, we're going into the European area, and we're looking for people to show that they're capable of going to the European area. That's what we really need, and I think the manager's trying to find that out now. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see people moving on.
And if he doesn't quite think they're quite there, that's what he's talking about now. He's talking about quality, no quantity. Anyway, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, we're in a good place. We've done a lot of business early, Port Bear, We've not seen some of our players yet, but we've also got Scott Wright, Jack Simpson that we seen a bit of last year, added to the first team squad, so we'll get... How we pronouncing the boy for Wickham's name, Port? How are you pronouncing it?
Namdi Offabor.
That'll do for me, Namdi Offabor. Namdi, would that do it? Namdi,
yeah. Namdi Offabor, yeah.
We've not seen Namdi, we've not seen Fashion Sakala. You know?
Why
No.
don't you just go for Namdi in fashion?
Ox, do you not find that a wee bit worrying that Offord no been ready for this season, considering he's in our country obviously, so he's not.
Talking about fashion, Offenbo's been in training, mate.
Has he? Has he been? Aye.
Sorry. I don't think his contract finished to June the 30th, mate. So I would expect something to happen in the next couple of days. I think you'll see Namdi maybe tomorrow, maybe.
Hopefully, I would like to see him, because you're talking about obviously the midfield area, like how many players we've got in there. That's another one to add into the midfield as well.
Aye. You're right, mate. You're spot on. I forgot about him, but it just shows you, doesn't it?
Yeah. We're very, very. We've got lots of players from midfield Ox here vying for 3 positions, and then we've got 2 positions at centre back where in my opinion we're top heavy as well, mate. So the manager's got 5 friendlies to have a look at this squad correctly and decide who's going to stay and who's going to go. If you ask me, I think Jack Simpson's an upgrade for Edmondson, for talking sakes. That's why I think Edmondson will probably go. Probably sold, actually. I don't think he'll go more. I think he'll be sold. Wright's probably an upgrade in Jordan Jones, in my opinion. So again, I think Jordan Jones' time's done. And unfortunately, Glenn Middle will be part in that as well. So we are heavy, mate. He's got some job in his hands pre-season to work out who's keeping and who's letting go. And this is when... Sorry, on you go, Bridge. Sorry, you go.
I was just going to ask you, do you not see us bringing anybody else in?
I think potentially maybe one more signing, Bridge. But remember, we've bought 4 in already.
Yeah, I know that, pal. I was meaning because if we're going to the Champions League, that we need somebody a bit more talismanic.
But we're not in the Champions League yet.
No, I know that, pal. It's only we're going to it. I'm confident we're going to get it.
What happens is there no message there if we went big, if we twisted and you didn't get in? Where does it take
we're in
you?
trouble. We're in trouble for that. But I'm sure the manager, it doesn't really matter. I just mean that somewhere along the line, we might need to bring people in that's a wee bit better than what we've got. As simple as that.
Yeah, there's that boy in Barcelona. It's not got a club. Maybe sign him for 6 months, maybe. See how that goes.
Oh, please. Just for 6 days. Just 6 days.
Pays you play.
Exactly. You don't come to Ibrox any other day but a Saturday.
Bridge, I get where you're coming from with that. I think if there was anything in the Morelos stories, then you're really needing one out, one in. I think you need to replace quality for quality, and probably then the opportunity maybe to reinvest that money to bring in some like a talent like a Roof or whatever. But saying that, let's say we've got Roof, we've got Atton, we've got Defoe for another season as well. So, and then we've got Fashion, who is a forward as well. So, and Hadji's came back. He looks as though he's muscled up as well for this season coming as well. So, I'm still mixed with the team. Like the other night there, I was.
There's no mix in your team, mate.
No mix. No, I don't see where I don't see our squad yet. I can't see our first team. It's just that many players kicking about in it, you know.
Pre-season's always difficult, in my opinion, especially when you've got a squad that's heavy, and then obviously your loan players have come back for the very beginning. I don't think Rangers, for a start anyway, if Morelos was going to go and Kamara was going to go, I can guarantee, like I said, we don't stand still. They'll already have targets in place for them, Gary. So I think if there's any big serious moves like that, I think we'll be fine. There'll be targets there that they would go for.
Is the point you're making, mate, somebody might come in the door before somebody goes out?
Aye, that's what I'm getting at. I don't think there'll be any big moves, major moves, unless maybe our major players, go out the door. And I think with the gaffer will do next year as well, he'll set a date. He'll have a date in his mind. He always does his business early, if you remember right. And what he'll do is there'll be a cut-off for him, but he'll go to Ross Wilson and say, right, we're not losing Morelos now, and we're not losing Kamara. I'm just using them two as an example because the one seems to be a lot of writing about. I think there'll be a cut-off point, especially with the Champions League, if we get qualified through it, which they'll be part of. So I think there'll be a cut-off point, in my opinion, mate, where he'll say, right, no, we're not looking to move anybody on. We're just going to stick. We're not twisting, basically. And then obviously that drives us on for this big, massive season. Because remember, there's a big, massive car at the end of this season, lads, and it's automatic qualification to the Champions League.
That twisting could happen, Bridge, going back to your point, if this squad gets us into the Champions League and then you've got the revenue coming in, then you might twist.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, marvellous points. Just no doubts about it. One thing I'm really disappointed about is about the fans. We talked about it with the Real Madrid game. I don't know how many fans are allowed in some of the friendlies that we've got, if any, until such times as we get to the first league game. And that's, as far as I know, that's only out to 2,000 again. They're down that 2,000 number. And it's just sad when you watch the Euros and they've got 50 odd thousand they had in the other night.
67,000.
67,000. There you go. Then. So I mean, you're talking nearly 70,000 people, and they kind of get 2,000 in Ibrox. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on.
If you promise not to tell everybody, I'll put my name down as a couple of ball boys for the Real Madrid game.
Ball boys, I love that. Yeah. As long as you don't bring Puskas. I know he's deep, but don't bring him because he'll probably score again. Wow. He was fabulous. They were a great sign.
Aye. They moved the football in era, didn't they? They moved football.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
What's the greatest game of football ever was in 1960 against Ferencváros they played.
No, there was a side up with Thornwood pitches. It was a classic one night, but carry on.
I know. I played a few classics in Temple and Knightswood, Black Ash, Killers. Done my knees badly. Never mind. No, seriously, I think that these games leading up to the season, it's going to be really sad that if there were any games at Ibrox, there would be sellouts. It would just be sellouts. The fans just kind of get the Rangers.
But I think the Arsenal and the Real Madrid game would have been sold out without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So you're maybe talking about, I don't know, £5 million in revenue.
A lot of money.
GB, £5 million. I know it's not a lot of money to Bridgeman, but it's a lot of money to me and you.
Definitely, mate. No, of course. By the way, even the Brighton game, and I mean, I don't know how the Blackpool game's got to go. Are they got to be allowed a full stadium in there for that game, that friendly? But I tell you, if there was an opportunity, if they got 67,000 in Wembley the other night there, I'm sure if that Real Madrid game got moved to there, I think you would easily fill it with all the Rangers fans. So
you talk about Blackpool. Do you know what Blackpool donkeys get for their dinner? GB.
What's that? Tell me.
Oh my God, Oxford.
Half an hour, that's a joke coming to a shop steward.
There'll be chaps at your door, Oxford, that one.
That must be the worst one ever on Rangers Radio.
I concur.
I'm going to steal it for my work.
Okay, guys, don't be picking on Oxford. We need him.
Ox, do you think, like say that Real Madrid game, like say a Joe Aribo, the kind of like the teams that he used to play for and stuff like that, and where he is now as a player, do you think the kind of games he'll be going on at that park? I mean, he must be looking back in his career and going like that. Look where I am now. I'm playing against like Real Madrid.
Yeah. In that stadium. And by the way, I was speaking to a wise man today, and who are that team for other side of the city playing?
They're playing Crew. Crew Alexander they're playing. Big fixture for a small team, you know.
They've always had big connections with Crew Alexander, that club, haven't they? Enough said about that, the better.
Stop it, please.
Right, how things have changed, eh? How things have changed. Right, come on and join us. What's your number, Bridge? He's fell off his seat. He's on mute. What's your number, Paul?
I'm on mute. Yes, I'm sorry, I was still on mute now. I couldn't hear what you said. The number is 0141 356 1972.
Here, come and join us. Right, okay, so be great to hear from some callers what they think. I think it's very difficult at the moment to pick the first 11 because we just don't know who's going to kick on, who's going to steal the limelight. Somebody might get an injury, somebody gets in the team you can't displace. Look at Scotty Arfield last year, sub, and then come on, scored a goal, and he took off for about 3 or 4 months. Portbear.
Aye, definitely. Arfield last year, in particular, Oxford was in and out of side, niggling injury as well, ankle injury, I believe. So, it's never great to play with an injury, but when he got that wee spell, didn't he? He really came into himself again. So, he's another year older, Oxford, and he's going to need to fight for his place. When he first came, he was an automatic choice for Gerrard because he came from Burnley, came Premier League, and he played very, very well. Started to get a good relationship going with Jermaine Defoe in some games. He was really influential, getting into the box, making late runs, etc. But now he's got another guy that's going to be vying for his position, along with Ryan Jack on that right side of that three with the new player, Lundstrom. So very difficult, mate. It's so hard, as you're saying, to try and imagine a settled squad at the moment, and who's going to, as you said, grab the limelight in the friendlies, really show Gerrard, they need to be in that starting 11. The gauntlet's been thrown down, mate, and I thoroughly believe that when the squad's said and done, it'll be all the people that's played well in the friendlies that deserve to be in the squad, mate. I really believe that. I think you get picked on merit under Gerrard. He doesn't. It's not a case of we give you 30 grand a week, we give you 20 grand a week, so you need to play. He doesn't do that. If you're good enough, young enough, whatever it is, you'll be in the squad, mate. So, but it's still a difficult decision he's got on his hands.
Aye. Good place to be. There's no rebuild at our club, is there, GB?
Certainly not. No, it's just the juggernaut keeps moving really for us. But that's the Pope was saying about the pre-season games and stuff like that. It'll either make or break certain players. But I certainly think the point on like Scotty Arfield, I think we're at the stage now where we've had players at our club for a while now, and they're not going to give up their shots easy. They're a part of a winning side. So any new people coming in are going to have to step up a level, and I think that's what Gerrard's always wanted. He's wanted to keep building and building to bring these new players in to give the team the competition that they need to keep it at the standards that he's expecting for them. So it's only onwards and upwards for the team. Like you said, I think it's going to be a patient window for us, because I just think he'll be waiting to see what other clubs do as well. I think. Also, I don't think Gerrard will be taking anything to do with that. I think this is Ross Wilson that will be working in the background. But you never know what happens. Like teams and stuff like that might need to cut their cloth, and then you never know if there's a wee gem that will pop up for Gerrard.
I don't know. You never know what will happen. I'm not a fan of the loan system, but I've heard it muted that some people think we might use that again. I don't know. Only time will tell. Pope.
I think if you're going to use it, mate, I like it in a sense. Rather than getting paid £2, £3, £4 million for a player without really getting a look at him, I liked it for the sense when Ryan Kent came in. We got him on loan for a year, so we get to see what he's like. We get to see. It's almost like a try before you buy in it. I do like it from that sense of the game, but I understand where you're coming from. Where it's not probably a lot of people don't like that, but it's only my opinion. I prefer it especially if you're taking a risk on maybe a player coming from overseas. If you can get him on, a year's loan with a view to buy, I think that's sensible business, Oxford. And I think the business model Rangers are using, who are we to doubt it? Because we've never been in this position for at least 10, 12 years, mate, where we've got a lot of sellable assets on our squad. But we're building up relationships with all these big, massive teams around Europe again.
Arguably, the only non-sellable assets we've got in our squad are maybe Defoe, Davis, and McGregor, only because of their age, mate.
Yeah. And how good is that, Ox? You're talking. You've only outed 3 players there that don't really have any sell-on value. I mean, even Lundstrom, we've got him at 27. If he stays till he's 30, he's still a sell-on value because we got him on a free transfer. You know what I mean? So he can go play 3 years here to end his contract.
Well, I'm impressed you've been practicing your arithmetic all summer.
Yes. So, you know, I just think we're in a very, very good place, mate. We've got squads full of, you know, opportunity to get money. We'll never be in that state ever again, in my opinion. I think that's pretty clear for what, you know, the way the squad's getting, you know, developing and under Gerrard. And like I says, mate, this club's never going to stand still ever again. You know, they just keep adding better quality to the squad. I'm going to bring Mr. Fox in. I've not heard to him. It's good to have Fox. He's back and he's fighting fit. He's been really busy over the close season. Fitness campaign. Evening, Fox. How we doing? You got some thoughts on John Lundstrom? Yeah.
I do. I think it's a terrific acquisition. He's valued around £7 million, although we got him in a free transfer. That's where he was valued out in transfer market, which is a good indicator.
Yep.
I think he's a clever box-to-box player. Good strength, good eye for a pass, strong in the tackle, and he can appear late in the box and score goals. I think it's a terrific bit of work by the backroom team to get him in, and I think he'll be a big player for us this year.
All right, mate. Aye. I'd be interested to see how pans out. Here's a question, Fox, before you go, mate. I know you're busy, but here's a question for you, and I'll take it around the rest of the panel. Do you think we'll always play with a 3, or do you think there's times we could go before in the midfield?
I think Steven Gerrard is the type of manager that has picked a formation and a way of playing, and I think he's going to stick with it. It's a modern trend, 4-3-3, and which is easily adaptable if you're going forward and going backwards, where if you're defending, you can quickly move to a 4-5-1, and you can add extra midfielders in the attack when going forward. So I can't see him change for that.
I've got a special request for Mr. Gerrard. Can you not come up with a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2? That would do me fine.
In Scottish football, Bridge, 5-3-2 doesn't suit our game because we're playing against packed defences all the time. And
yeah, but what I mean is, you can if you've got the defence, if you've got the players, then you can change that from a 5-3-2. And you know, you see good teams, big international teams play 5-3-2. It's very good. And then there's convert to 3-5-2. Same players convert to 3-5-2, no problem. But that's for future.
Mm-hmm. I think the way the game's going, Port Bear, that it'd be numbers in midfield in games sometimes, so you're lessening the load. I can see that happening. But the way we play, if you had 2 wide men, Kent and I don't know, AA and other, you can tuck them in and you can give yourself 5 there, can't you? You know. Aye,
I think that's one of the roles our wingers play, because your fullbacks are so attack minded. Oxdear, when they defend, you always see Kent always helping Borna, and you, more often than not, you've seen Marfield and Ryan Jack dovetailing with Tavernier, making sure that obviously we were tight at the back. We weren't getting caught midfield, you know, with nobody at the back. So I think Gerrard's system, like Fox says, I think I'm not saying he's stubborn. I just think he's got us playing an identity, which has been very successful. Oxdear, and the team's grown since he's come in. We've been outstanding in Europe practically every year since he's come in, and that formation's worked. It's like the old saying, if it's not broke, you know, don't fix it, just leave it as is. But I dare say, mate, he will probably add, maybe as you said, one more bit of real quality to the squad to take us that extra step, because in my opinion the Champions League is another step above Europa League, mate. So I think they need maybe 1 or 2 acquisitions of real quality, but only when we qualify. I think we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come in for a second, Oxdear?
Yes.
And I just wanted to say that I watched the England game. I've been watching them all the way through the tournament. I absolutely love the way they play football. And the other night there, when they were playing, can't remember who they were playing at. So Denmark. But they when they were playing, they played very like the way we play, with the two wide fullbacks up top, and they're running good pace. And they actually got, once they get into the game, they took Denmark apart on the wings. So you got really good fullbacks doing the business. Two centre halves that were struggling a wee bit when they were fighting each other. I think I thought England were excellent and well worthy of their victory. And good. I think they're going to win that tournament. I really do. Anyway, that's what I think. Very much like the Rangers.
Mm-hmm. Aye, I get your point there, Bridge. I get your point. To play with the three up front, yeah, and also try and push the fullbacks on. It's you can be exposed as a centre half for that system, Port Bear.
Oh, definitely, mate. If you've not got guys around about you that's going to work hard, and as I said earlier on, dovetail and make sure you're getting covered when your fullbacks are up. So you're expecting your central midfielders to plug the gaps. You can be very exposed. I think that's why you need the modern day fullback has to be super fit. If you look at Borna, Tav, Kyle Walker, and Luke Shaw for England as well, you have to be super fit, mate. I mean, the amount of work they guys do is probably doesn't get the credit it deserves, because it's only when you see it working.
I don't think it's the distance they run. It's the how they have to run, mate, innit?
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100%. Yep.
The doggies have got to do sprinting, mate. That's no easy.
No,
not easy.
No, definitely not.
Anyway, we're in a good place, GB, but obviously we're talking about people coming in, and quality. We're talking about improvement and building on and kicking on. Claude, what a job that boy Steven Gerrard's done for us along these coaching staff and the management of the club, the directors, isn't he?
Aye, if you look, like we were saying tonight, we're top heavy with all different departments of the team, but that's because he's added quality each season. He's picked his moments when what he wanted, and obviously the board's backed him. Obviously that's even more evident for last season, how the team progressed and got his 55, and I think now that the team have got 55, there'll be an even bigger belief there that they can kick on to the next level, and the next level is retaining the championship and obviously trying to get into the Champions League, to test yourself, because as a professional you want to test yourself against the very, very best.
Yeah. Somebody asked me today what would it take. I'll be real honest. I qualified for the Champions League, compete, get 4 points, finished up, go to Europa League, and if we could go one stage further and win the league, I would snap your hand off for that.
So same here, Rox. Exactly same.
Obviously when the games start, you want to win every game. But anyway, we'll come back to it after we have a tune. Get yourselves on mute. The boys seem to be having a bit of a problem here. You back with us, Port? You there?
He'll score them here, he'll score them there. His cry is loud, now he's a bear. It will make or break him, so he's gonna do his best. We are dedicated followers of fashion, and when he does his scoring round all the ground in Scottish town, eagerly pursuing title 56. We are dedicated followers of fashion. threaten an exo game. We are dedicated followers of fashion. Oh yes we are. Oh yes he is. Oh yes we are. Oh yes he is. There's one thing that he loves and that is scored goals. 1 week he'll score 1, the next week he'll score 2. We are dedicated followers of fashion. He'll score them here, he'll score them there. At Parkhead, anywhere. Everywhere the Glasgow Rangers are being marked on. Each one a dedicated follower of fashion. Oh yes we are. Oh yes he is. Oh yes we are. Oh yes he is. His world is built from scoring goals and trophies. The goal scoring individual always prizes best. We are dedicated followers of fashion. Oh yes we are. Oh yes he is. Oh yes we are. Oh yes he is. There's one thing that he loves and that is scored goals. When he scores a hat-trick in an exo game, we are dedicated followers of fashion. We are dedicated followers of fashion. We are dedicated followers of fashion.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, well, back, gents.
Yeah, mate, yep.
Oh, hear me? Yep.
Yeah.
Because we're the dedicated followers of fashion. That's
Did you like that,
fantastic.
Mitch?
That's brilliant. Those were the days. You know, Kings, absolutely superb. Foxy will remember those days as well. Thought we were something strolling about Glasgow, I'll tell you, we thought we were some.
That was by John. He's done a few tracks, John. Quite funny. I don't know his song.
That's brilliant, by the way. Absolutely superb.
Song by John. Well, listen, there's a lot of speculation about the club and obviously media, clickbait, whatever you want to call it. And I'm sure we'll discuss the media in the next week or so, what's potentially happening at the club. There seems to be a lot of noise about that. Not for us, but for other people. But who do you see as the guys that could potentially leave the club? Or do you think there's no one going to leave GB? You've heard about Morelos. Is he happy to stay? Have a crack at the Champions League. Kamara, what a European Championship and a team that worked hard. He was a standout player by a distance. Is Borna, is he going to go? Could it be Goldson even? GB.
Obviously we know about Kamara and Morelos and stuff like that, so that's, I suppose, a given. Goldson, like you says, it could be something like pure blindsided us in a sense, like a Goldson or even Kent to a certain extent. We forget that they two have been brilliant for us as well. Even Tavernier to a certain extent. There was muted. Obviously, there was an interest in Tavernier as well. So, but I think these guys, we really need to keep the spine of the team. Golson's went for a player that I was thinking was going to be walking out the door for us, and to a player that is a must in that defence now. I can't see anybody really stealing his shot, to be honest. We've got Katic coming back in that defence, and obviously we've got the boy Simpson vying for the, and then Hollander as well. We've got Hollander coming back, so for me, Golson's still the steady Eddie guy that we need in that defence. So to lose him, I think would be massive for the team.
Yeah, we might not have any choice on it. Obviously, his contract's up next summer, so the ball's in his court. Pogba.
Aye, definitely, mate. It's something that's been bubbling away in the background. It's well documented about Connor Goldson's contract going into the last year. So effectively, come January, he can speak to any club that he wants. So that's 6 months too close for me, Oxtear. do you think? Going to ask you a question, Denny. You think Gerrard's got a question to ask? You know, do you say to Connor Goldson, somebody's going to get your place unless you sign? You know, do you put the pressure on him to sign, or do we allow him to walk out the door and potentially speak to somebody in January and go on a free? I just think that's no way Rangers do their business. I'm just hoping in the background there's been discussion and it's nothing to worry about. But as a supporter and, you know, a fan of the club, I don't like the way that's just still bubbling under the surface, because it could be something that could potentially, you know, it could potentially cause rifts within the squad, because people are probably asking the question, why are you not signing your contract? You know, I think I just don't want it. I don't want it to fester, Oxford. I want it done, dealt with, and I don't want anything behind the scenes to upset your squad, mate. I'm just worried about it. The way it's been allowed to rumble on, and that's why I was asking you the question. Do you think they should be maybe said?
But the club are powerless, aren't they?
Yeah, we are. Oh, definitely, 100%, 100%. I'm just hoping that the fact he's a vice captain, I'm hoping, you know, Tav signed his contract. I'm hoping them two discussions, and it's nothing to worry about. But I don't like the fact they can talk to people in January.
No, I'm sure we'll know. We'll know quite quickly. Obviously, there's no movement. We'll see what happens. You know.
Oxy, on that one, do you think a lot of your guys signing new contracts will depend on us getting into the Champions League? So for me, like,
I think a lot of it depends on how happy they are, and it'll come down to a lot of people whether they can get more money elsewhere. It'll be as simple as that for a lot of them.
That's what I mean. Like, if we get in the Champions League, the money that's earned for that might be able to go back to them with the contracts that they're expecting. I suppose that's what I was thinking. I
think the trouble is you can't look back. You've always got to look for better never stops, to coin a phrase, mate. And sometimes the people who've got you there aren't the people to take you to the next level. Bridgman?
As far as Goals is concerned, I think Goals is just going to sign anyway. I don't think there's any problem there. I think he's going to sign for two reasons. One, because he actually loves the club and what the club done for him and reinstated his career and brought him back out of this problem he was having medical-wise. A lot of trust. Not that he had any problem medical-wise with Rangers, but a lot of trust now in him. And two, I think he actually wants to stay at Rangers. I actually do, but there could be, he might not be in the level of contract that he thinks he deserves. Let's put it that way. So that might be a wee stumbling block so far as a bit of negotiations concerned.
I don't know. Connor must be pay as you play.
Well, it could be. I don't know what's going on with his contract, whether in fact he's on a really good contract or what. He might be on the poorest contract or a lot. And yet, given his performances and the amount of time he's on the park, he's one of the best players we've got, if not the. You know, so he's got a good shout for a decent wage if he's not on one. If he's already on a really good wage, then I don't know what he wants. Goodness knows. But I think he'll sign.
Well, Ben, as a question you answer me, am I concerned about it?
Aye, sure. It's just something that we've been very quick with and good with.
I've got a very simple view on football players, mate. If they want to go, they go.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Mm-hmm.
You know, I just want people there that want to play for my club. You know, no offence to Connor, we're not saying that. Or has it got Connor Goldstone? Yeah.
Yep.
Is that what Southside calls him?
Aye. I mean, it is nuts. Probably a year before last year, we were chasing him out the door rocks here, and now all of a sudden, to me, he's one of the most important parts of our. Somebody touched on earlier on the spine of the team. You know what I mean? So he was a great. He was, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. All of a sudden, you know, he doesn't miss a, you know, pardon the pun, a heartbeat in games. He plays every single game. You know, and he's become a pivotal player for Rangers, and that's how I would just like to see it, you know, tidied up and sign the contract, mate. That's all I want to happen. Him and Kamara, to be fair. I want Kamara to sign another extension as well.
Yeah. I get it, but we'll see. It'll give us loads to talk about, and we're building up to hopefully another superb season. GB.
I also just to also carry on for the point you're saying there. Like for me, I'm the same. I'd rather them sign because I don't think your team needs a disruption this season. I think we need to kind of all stick together again for this season because it's another, like Port was saying, it's a £30 million season waiting for us, isn't it? So
yep.
I think if we get these guys sorted and we've still got that kind of same togetherness squad there, then I think we will be marching towards the 56. And it's just, I think if we ghost it like say a Golson or we ghost a Kamara and a Morelos in the team, it does kind of, we're bringing in guys that are kind of newish to the team then, whereas the team now are at a position where they've been together for the three seasons and they know each other like the back of their hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you can't have that team playing for 10 years, mate. You've got to keep developing it. And you've always got to be aware that fans' favourites will go. Talking about fans' favourites, we've been joined by Andy for Leeds. We couldn't get his brother Hughie, who is a fan's favourite, but we've got Andy instead. How we doing, Andy?
I've not missed you, bugger. Shock, I'll tell you. Good evening, chaps. Good evening, guys. It's brought up some great topics there, right enough. On the Golson one, he played very well last season. As you know, I was critical before it. As Gary said, beforehand, I want him to stay, but if you don't want to sign him with you, Ox, move on. We'll put somebody else in there. I think he'll sign, but it depends if a West Ham that was there and was looking at 10 million for him. I think it's a no-brainer. And the thing is, did he play as well as he did last year because there was no crowd in it? Because he wasn't very good in front of the crowd when we had full houses at times. So there's a little thing I'll throw back you on that one.
That's a question we'll never be able to answer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I get where you're coming from with that. Bridgman, you've not always performed well in front of big crowds, have you?
That's a good point. But I think Golson we've got a wee bit the yippies and sometimes with the crowd shouting at him and so on and so forth. But he's certainly over the last 2 seasons there he's came alive again, and certainly last season he was just totally outstanding. I thought anyway. I think he's a fantastic player for us, and I look forward to him being able to play for Rangers in front of full houses every week. It'd be fantastic for him. But yes, Andy's right. There was a time when he got a bit nervous, and I think sometimes he found himself in a wee hole, particularly in European games. He get himself running in, instead of running down the wing or down the inside right channel. He found it was got 20 yards, and all of a sudden there's 3 people there waiting for him. They're getting waylaid in the middle of Glasgow. I've done that before, so I don't want to say too much about that. But that's what it's like, and it's difficult. And he ends up turning back away and losing the ball. So he gave away some goals. So. But no, as far as this right now is concerned, they're number one man for me. Number one man.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But it's all about whether Gerrard also thinks he can get free up wages and he can get better in, Andy. Yeah, we're in a better place to attract players than we were 3 years ago.
We're in a great place, and all we're doing at the moment is throwing things about in it because we're not really kicked off properly yet. And then, then we'll start talking about the real stuff when the games happen. But the other one there, I was going to call him Houghton again, Patterson. I don't know why I keep calling him that, but Patterson, I think he's got to be in the team the good majority of the time now. I think he's too good to sit on the bench now, albeit he's young and he's got to learn. But I think there'll be clubs out there, even the new, looking for him. If Patterson wasn't getting regular starts in the team. I know that Tavernier is the captain, and I kind of contradict myself, but Tavernier's got to play, and I think he'll play because Gerrard sees in him what I totally don't see in him right enough. But I mean, I go with the gaffer, and we'll have to accept that, But I think Patterson has to play.
Tab's a machine, mate.
He is. I'll tell you what odds would you get at him hitting that post every time he takes them penalties now?
I might take him off the penalties, but that's another argument for another day. But Tab's a machine, mate. You think back to that St Johnstone game, we appeared back for injury. All right, we never won the tie, but he done everything he could to get us there by popping up and scoring that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, bang on. James Tavernier's, as you said, mate, he's an absolute machine. His stats speak for themselves. You just look at his assist rate and his goals over the last 3 seasons, and it's phenomenal for a fullback. It's massive numbers, mate. I don't think there's not a fullback in the UK, or even Europe for that matter, that matches his numbers.
No.
And to add to that, it's his work rate as well.
Talking about guys who score regularly, we've been joined by Big Al. Evening, Big Al.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
All right, mate.
Evening.
All right there. How you doing, Gravy?
I'm brand new, mate. Good yourself.
Still, boy. I am brand new, man. I'm going to make some eggs Benedict this morning. Instead of hollandaise sauce, I'm going to put Bisto on it.
Don't knock it till you've tried it, big man.
I know,
Exactly.
It's a new recipe. If Rudy's listening, it's called beefy eggs. Anyway, the Goldson thing, I raised it the other night there about Goldson. Now, Goldson, how much money is he on now?
Let's say he's on. Let's say I don't know the guy's wages. Let's say he's on,
no.
Let's say he's on £15,000 a week. Is that fair?
Right.
I don't know.
I would say 15, maybe he's wanting 20 grand. Realistically, is he worth that? I'm not 100% sure. Playing in Scottish football, I think 20 grand would be a cap for me to keep the club fiscally prudent. Now, realistically, what kind of team is he going to get in England? He'd be going back to a Brighton or a Bournemouth or something. If you know what I mean, that kind of level of team. He's how much money are they going to pay him? They might be able to pay him 40, 50 grand. So if he was to leave us, I think it's only a matter of the money. I kind of go with what Bridge just said as well. I do think he's going to sign, but it's a thing that we shouldn't have let dragged out because it's become a thing now. We're chatting about it.
You can't. The trouble is, big man, you can't. If he's saying, "I'll just wait and I'll make my mind up," I'm getting married like he did in the summer, and maybe his wife's saying, "Well, I want to move back to the south coast of England." Yeah.
Well, look, he's a grown man. It's quite simple. I go along with you. If he doesn't want to be there, thank you very much. Shake his hand and goes, because I'm not wanting to go on his back. I think he done us a great turn last year. But I do think we've got cover there. If he went, we've got big Havana, big cigar smoker, Balogun. He's there for another year. He's showed his commitment, isn't he? Now that then takes us into some of the scenarios that he's followed on with. Hollander had no bad Euros, I believe. Could there be people looking at him? Then you might be facing the prospect of having their two kind of main defenders not at the club anymore, Goldson and Hollander. But if Goldson's making it difficult and we still have Hollander and Balogun, well, I think that's all right. We've got cover there. They've brought the big boy back up. We've got the young guy coming through, and we've got that other guy we signed last year. I'm not being that impressed with him, but I think that gives us, and also we've got Thighs, we've got Katic sitting there in the wing. So I don't think it's such a. I think it would be quite simple for me. You either sign or you don't want to sign Goldson, and we shake his hand either way. The Kamara thing, is that a player that we could lose? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think there's a lot of talk about him. I don't know. I can't see him. Where would he go? Do
you know, I don't know about how he's fit and he gets in the team. Katic always had to play on the left-hand side for us, you know. It'd be interesting to see how he would be playing on his natural side of the pitch, Portbear.
But is that... You're right, go ahead.
I'll come back to you, I'll come back.
100% next year. We've seen... I mean, Bridgeman was quite critical of Katic a lot of times, and rightly so, because he was playing on the left side and he was trying to make them left-footed passes, and more often than not it was good at the pitch, which disrupted their style of fast-flowing play. But it's a good shout. We've never seen Katic on his own strong side alongside, say, maybe Hollander. But for me, the reason I'd like to keep Connor Goldson, mate, I think he's the best talker at the back. And I know people are probably sitting wondering, going, what do you mean talking? What does it matter if he can talk or not? When it comes to organising and marshalling a defence next year, Connor Goldson's probably the most vocal at the back. And I think he does a very good job. That's the only question I would have out any of the remaining centre halves. Who would become the talker at the back? Because for me, he's a leader. He does last year his numbers and his stats, and his amount of time he puts into the pitch. You know, he's been ever present practically the 3 seasons he's been here. You know, he's developed into a really fine centre half. He can play a wee bit. He's got an eye for a pass. So he's too big a player for me to lose this year, Oxford, I'm afraid. I just don't want to lose a guy, definitely.
But with no control, that's the trouble. Big Al, in you come, big man.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that. Katic would be playing on the right and Hollander would be playing on the left. You know what I mean? So that would give that balance.
Yeah, and we would see how good if he was good enough for a bit. So I thought maybe Spurron. Having a bit of debate and a bit of speculation. Andy?
Look,
yeah,
I'd like to see Goldson stay.
Andy?
I totally agree with Al there, right enough. That's the way I would have gone. This is if Goldson goes. But I've liked Katic before. I think he's an aerial threat in the opposing box, and he's good in the air. He's a bit touch tight at times, but the fact that he's been out for a year, he's bulked up and all that, which I think at the beginning of last season, possibly what caused him his problem there. He bulked up too much and turned to it, you know. But the fact that he's been out a year, seen what it's all about there, sometimes you learn a hell of a lot more watching for the stands, what you do playing. So I think if he come back into the team, along with the big Elander, which, as you know, I do like him. So, no, I wouldn't have any problems. I don't want Goldson to go, but I wouldn't lose any sleep if they went. I think when you ask the other question there, who do you think will go? I've got a funny feeling the main one that will go will be Kamara. I'm seeing that Everton is sniffing now. And there's 2 or 3 in there for him now. There's a big Russian club apparently, but I can't see wanting to go to Russia. They're a bit funny minded over there after what happened in Europe, so I wouldn't see him touching anything in Russia, but I can see him coming down to England. I mean, they raved about him, didn't they, in the Euros there late enough, so I could see Kamara being the one that they would come for. Maybe Barisic at the last minute, but I'm not sure. And the thing about Alfie, I don't know why they even went over there. Did he get 7 minutes playing time or something? You know? But there you go. That's just me whittling on this. So that's just my point. I'm with Big Al there, definitely. Katic and Elander, if Goldson goes, I don't think we'll have a problem with it too.
Andy, you make a good point there, and Big Al as well made a cracking point about what team does he go to. He's gone down to a possibly, it says another Brighton or that, and he's got the opportunity to stay to Rangers and possibly play in the Champions League. He's going to have a guaranteed probably another season in Europe if that becomes the Europa League. Another chance to win more trophies, more medals. And then after that, he could probably sign himself off if he wanted to. But I can't see, like, if he's going to go, it's going to be down to money, I suppose. Because I can't see him now leaving for the sake of wanting to play for, like, a Brighton or a West Ham or something like that.
No, I totally agree there. It would be down to money, wouldn't it, and what the clubs would throw at him, right enough, you know. I mean, the Goldson one, I've seen the West Ham one about a good half a dozen times now. That's Moyes is very interested in him, right, and you know, so that could come off. But I don't see why we'd go to West Ham because, like you said, we get into the Champions League, great. If we don't, he's still in the Euro League. The main thing we must do out of anything this season is win that league, retain that league. Because we need to let them know that we're back, and we're not just back for one season, we're back to let you know what the score is. But then you also know that when you win that league, you're straight in it, so there's 32 million coming to it. The likelihood that we don't get in is we're playing in the UEFA League, and I think we're good enough to go past the group stages, and then we could possibly move on. I'm not wanting to be in that, but then we could possibly move on for that last 16, getting in the quarters, and you never know what could happen. I want the Scottish Cup as well. I want the treble as well. Right? I've been greedy right enough. I want to see them really impose ourselves on Scottish football. You know, and the main carrot of that is by winning the league, you're straight into the Champions League next year. We waited a long time, so we could win the league and go straight into the Champions League without all the worry of trying to qualify. Well, a year's not too much. It's not too long in a lifetime, is it?
So can I just
must be the point.
There? Sorry.
Yeah, on you go, Bridge.
I was just going to interject and ask a question. People are mentioning Katic. I think Katic is still a long way away from getting a game. Seriously, you know, he's not played any type of football for at least 12 months. So he's got another couple of months just on the edges and the fringes with the Colts. Call it what you like. He's He's just not going to get into that first team unless he's a miracle boy. I just don't see it. So I would suggest it's going to have to be someone like Helander with Big Balogun. If I'm talking of goes and goes, like, you know. But on that point, I think the last statement that was made there about the European Championship, where we've got the Champions League stuff. If we're in the qualifications for that and we get through, I don't see any player. There's got to be some amount of money heading his way. If he forgoes that and just goes ahead, I would suggest that we need to get Raheed looked at to get a chance to play in the Champions League and still get good money for the wages and then stay for 2 years or whatever it is and go. But I don't know. I just don't know. However, it might be a big tempting offer he's got, which and not just him, because the midfielder, he might be one as well.
We'll see. As I say, if they want to go, I'll stick to my original point, Andy. If they want to go, well, shake hands and off you go.
Yeah, well, you get no argument from me there. I've always said that right enough. Rangers are bigger than anybody, whether they're superstars. Your John Griggs, your Colin Steens, in my mind, Rangers are bigger than anybody there. They're a servant to our club, you know. So if you don't want to be there, move on. We'll find somebody else that wants to be there. That's how I see it. Simple.
Big Al, better never stops, but it's getting the blend, getting people in, improving your squad.
That's a great phrase. Better never stops. It's look, that's what it is. If he went to a team in England, he's got to double his wages, if not triple his wages straight away. He's not getting any younger. Sets him and his family and his wife up for life. So good on him. As I say, I wouldn't want to see him go back. I wouldn't have any problems with going into the start of the. I don't think we would need to buy anybody. Katic, I don't think would be the first choice until he became match fit and was shown that he could play in there. I think we've got a strong enough defence with Balogun and Helander, as long as Helander doesn't leave, because I like Helander. Players I think that might leave, Kamara, I think. Kamara, if we go offer decent money, I would let him go, no problem, because I think maybe with this Lundstrom and this Sakala and things coming in, we're looking maybe a wee bit more attacking. We should take cover there as long as Jack. We might need to get another midfielder in.
I think we'll get something. I think we'll get something special on Glenn Kamara, mate, and we should appreciate every game we watch him as the boy gets even more and more confident. Only my opinion, of course.
But is he going to add goals to his game? Or is he just going to be that kind of holding midfielder? For me, doesn't he? I don't know if this season are we going to see him attacking, scoring 12 goals for the midfield? I don't think so.
Don't think he'll get 12 goals. I don't think he'll get 12 goals, but he can make your team function, mate.
He's an absolute baller.
Is that not what Stephen Davis? Is that not what Stephen Davis is there to do?
Aye, but you need the blend. You need the blend, didn't you? Getting it. We hardly. Nobody scored a lot of goals for us last year, but we still, as a team, scored a lot of goals, didn't we?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I just think there could be an improvement made. Well, when I say improvement, I mean a different type of player. I want to see a more forward-thinking player in Glenn Kamara. If he can produce that, good on him. I think we also need another forward. Big fashion. Where's he going to play?
I don't think he's anything but big, Al. I think he's anything but big.
Is he? Oh, well, you know what the Africans are like. Anyway,
gentlemen, we've reached that time of evening. You know what it's like if you get things wrong on social media, you know.
I
think I'm safe there.
I know you're right. Okay, listen, lads, we've reached that time of the evening. We're starting to build up. We've got to get all vocal cords ready for the season. We're building up slowly. Bridge can only take so much pre-season at a time. So it's over to Bridge, man.
What can I say? I had a wonderful night, by the way. So enjoyable having the show back. Absolutely brilliant. Well done to everyone. Thank you very much for putting the show on. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And thanks to all the guys for being with me. I'm there. And to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio. Every single one is keep it going for the Rangers, because we're starting to go. Foot on the pedal. Let's do it. Keep it going.
Dutchman, I've sent us 2 medium tracksuits. If we can get into them, we can get into the game with ball boys. Right, can I thank Big Al for Australia? Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
When are you back on?
Monday, mate. We're going to be back on Monday. Thank Andy for Leeds, and of course Dave for coming the old who's dog was on him. Of course, Port Bear and Gary. Quick shout out for you two lads.
Aye, cheers, Ox. Me and Port will be doing a wee Euro special on Sunday for the final. If you want to join us on Facebook Live and just chat to us on that, there'll be no phone calls. But if you fancy joining us to watch the final, then you're more than welcome.
Yeah, enjoy. Port Bear.
Aye, great night again, Ox. Good to catch up with you all. And big season ahead, mate. Big season ahead, and looking forward to it.
Yeah. This has been Rangers Radio. Thanks to everybody for taking part this evening. Thanks to all the boys. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. We'll be back on Monday, but we'll be joined by the one and only Big Stevie. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. Come on, the Rangers at Tranmere tomorrow. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard. We've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Successful team in football, with Scotland's gallant few, who times they have been hard, who followed near and far.